Check 1, 2. How you doing, man?
Sounds good, brother.
All right. Cool.
Good morning.
Good. Whatever it is. Good evening.
Good whatever it is, wherever you're watching and listening, right?
Yeah, man. So
You can hear
tell me, at the end of your day, how good is a hot shower?
Dude. Like I'm thankful. Like it's Thanksgiving all over, right? Yeah, it's cold, man. It's cold. Georgia had snow. I'm sure it's melted by now, I guess. I don't know. I don't really keep up on it. I heard they had snow and they were shutting everything down over an inch or two of snow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, when you don't, I guess they have snow days to burn. They don't get to burn them like the folks up north. So
no, and I get it. I get why there would be like mass hysteria and shutdowns because they just don't have, like, they might have the equipment, but it's just not ready like it is here. Like there's seasons here, and there's a time when the plow trucks switch over to, snowplow mode rather than we're going to be grading gravel roads.
Right. Yeah, that, and I feel like the folks, the people, the inhabitants have no freaking clue what to do when it snows, man. They don't know how to drive through it. They don't know how to handle it. They lose their minds.
It's nuts. Like, I guess as I age, I'm not old, but as I age, I tend to slow down just a tick when it's snowy and icy and nasty out. Dude, there's still people passing me doing it like it's it's no big deal until your vehicle completely loses control. So that, I mean, you have to be a massive defensive driver here in Michigan, because you just never know when someone's going to lose control on the sloppy ass snow and ice. Right. And we have it we'll have snow and ice on the roads for the next, January, 3 months, probably at least
3 years, maybe.
Yeah. Good next 3 months anyways. I mean, it's going to start getting bitter cold. Everything's starting to freeze up nice. Guys are out ice fishing.
That's cool.
Things are happening. I used to do a lot of that stuff, but man, you go 8 miles out on Saginaw Bay, it's a whole different world out there, man. And I just don't have it in me no more. I just don't have it in me.
That's definitely a bucket list item for me, man. I've not done
ice fishing.
Yeah, I'd love to try it out. Maybe I'll hit you up next year.
It's wild, man. You're just out there, you're just, no boat, 4-wheeler, snowmobile. There was times 16, 17, 18 years old. So that's going back quite a few years where I would drive my vehicle out as far as you could possibly drive out on the ice. So picture that. And not just one vehicle. Like there's a lot of people out there with vehicles.
That scare the crap out of me, man. That's wild.
Takes a lot of negative 30s to make it that solid for a long time straight to be able to do stuff like that.
For sure. Guys, you're listening to The Crucible.
I'm Emil. Hello, Pauly here.
All right. What are we talking about today?
We want to know, we want to talk about and maybe get some feedback from the listeners and viewers. What we think is going to happen with precious metals coming up in the next, at least, remainder of this year. And I know the year's just started. What are we at? January 14th or something? 15th? Yeah, January 15th. But we got a new regime coming into office in 4 or 5 days, and
it could go anywhere.
It could. It could really go anywhere. Realistically, there's a lot of variables that you deal with a lot more than I do. And I just kind of we're in that group with Sean, right? And there's a lot of guys, and more than just that group, but there's a lot of people that really pay attention to every little move that's made. And
jobs market.
And I'm not that type of person. I never have been. I probably never will be, but it's good to hear that stuff from other people who actually take the time and, I guess, know what they're talking about more or less, but nobody really knows. Right.
Let's do a spot check real quick.
Sure. What you got?
Again, today is the 15th of January. You're probably going to watch this from the 16th forward. So Kitco prices. We got gold closed today at $26.95. So that's up considerably from about a week or two ago.
I can tell you last week I got written down $26.59.
Okay. So we're up about $45. So that's pretty good. Silver, we are up to 30.7 at close.
Okay, and last week was a $29.99.
Okay, so almost $1 there. So that's not too bad. We are up overall. But let's talk about Donald Trump. We know he's coming into office. We know economically there is uncertainty. There's uncertainty from, it doesn't matter what party you're from. No one can predict the future, but there are a bunch of things to talk about. What we really want to figure out is, can we pinpoint where gold is going to go over the next, 6 months, 1 year, 4 years? Let's see where it's at by the end of the presidency. So right when right when it was confirmed that he was, he won the election, this is back in November, right? We saw gold spot,
excuse me,
right? Spot dropped. It was originally 2750 right before the election.
Okay.
After it dropped to about 2659. We saw about, what's that? $90 drop, $95 drop. That's not insignificant. Then again, all of last year it went up and up and up. So dropping $100, that kind of stunned some people. But I believe, and correct me if you think I'm off on this, but there is a thought or a sentiment that Donald Trump coming into office should be good for businesses, should be good for the economy overall, right? For the US economy. And gold, silver as well, being something more of like a safe haven asset. When people saw that, they pulled their money out of the safe haven asset and started putting it back into the markets, right?
So start putting it back in the markets, because your money's safe where it's sitting, but you want to make money with your money. You want your money to be making you money, and just sitting there in a safe haven, it's not making you any money. So the hopes are that the economy, not that it's terrible right this second, but that it's going to explode within the next 4 years and make America great again.
Yeah. And that's the question. Will it explode? Will it implode? I think
I have a feeling, like in like the oil. I mean, I have a feeling we're going to see, number one, lower gas prices, not January 21st. I believe we're going to start drilling more here, which I most certainly do agree with, because it's just something we need to do. It keeps people working, and we need it. We need the oil. We drive cars every single day, trucks, buses, everything. We got to have the fuel. And if we have it, it's not that we need to go through every bit that we have, but we could stop relying on other countries so much for a while.
Yeah. So knowing also that Elon Musk is, for lack of a better term, his right-hand man, they're very close, right?
Pretty much.
So he's very pro crypto. And what did we see happen since November? We saw crypto reach its new high, right? We saw Bitcoin reach its new high. It's since tapered back a little bit, but again, this is kind of like,
I think I saw 100,000 again today. Probably below that now. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, because I think the peak was like 103 or something like that, 103 and some change. But that's good. So we're poking back towards it. Again, all of this is sentiment, right? This is the sentiment of the investors that's driving the market at this point. It's not really based on any actual action or movements within the market itself. It's all sentiment. But again, so we did see the initial drop, and that is because the drop in gold spot is what I'm talking about. That drop in gold spot when he got elected, and that's because the sentiment is that he and his policies will be good for business, will be good for the economy, right? Sorry, you were going to say something?
Well, no, that's yeah. I mean, I agree with that, and I think a lot of people will agree with that. That's the hopes. That's the hopes of why he's been elected, to go back, try to get back to where we were when he left, and then continue to build on that, which is really going to be tough to do, obviously, overnight. But I think with the people around him and the people who are on board, they want to see us back to where we need to be, right? And then to touch on Elon for a second, the guy, all that stuff you talked about is all like, I don't want to say pro, like liberal type stuff, because it's not. I mean, there's conservative folks that drive electric vehicles. It's not the end of the world if you're driving an electric vehicle. It's actually a really good thing, I would have to say. If they were affordable, like my affordable, it's the perfect vehicle for the job that I have. I'm constantly on the road, back and forth, point A to point B every single day of the week. So Tesla, SpaceX, all that stuff he's got going on, I'm a firm believer in, right? What I truly like about Elon and then being with the government that he's going to be part of, is he doesn't want the government in your pocket. He doesn't want the government in his pocket, and he most likely doesn't want the government in our pockets. And that is a win-win for everybody. The less government in my pocket, the better off I'm going to be.
Yeah. If we take a kind of like a historic snapshot, because again, we're not brand new to a Trump presidency. We've experienced it before when he was the 45th president. And that was, just back in 2016 when he first started. What we did see is gold initially rallied when he first took office. And it rallied, I think, maybe a couple reasons. Maybe he was just stepping into an office and he was kind of an untested leader. So maybe people were flooding to safe havens to try to hedge their bets. But I think what ended up happening was people started to realize that his policies, again, were bullish for stocks. So we saw gold taper back and we saw the economy continue to grow. Now, and I think this is all speculation, right? Because there's something to talk about when thinking about gold, is that there's pressure from both sides, right? You have pressure for it to go up, you have pressure for it to go down. And in this case, again, with a new incumbent, you got Trump coming into office, and he's got some things going for him and he's got some things going against him. And that's with any president. You're always going to have that. But I think the things to consider is for gold, when talking about gold, the good thing for gold in this case, or let's start with the bad thing for gold, is that if the economy does continue to boom and do well, right? If we see Dow and NASDAQ continue to grow and grow and grow, we're going to see gold kind of peter out. It might plateau, it might flatline, it might even drop. We might even see it go back to like 2100, 2200, something like that. I hope not, because I like that my gold has gone up. That's fantastic. But on the flip side, in order to get gold to go up, you actually have to have the market not do so well.
Yes.
Or have the dollar be so strong, right, that it's actually, no, I'm inverting that. My mistake. When the dollar is strong, what ends up happening is you have a lot of the demand globally goes down because gold gets expensive for other countries, right?
Very.
All right. So with that said, some of the bad things that could happen over the next 4 years. Let's say inflation continues to run rampant, right? Let's say maybe the Federal Reserve doesn't have the ability to put a handle on inflation and it continues to go crazy. We go into a hyperinflation. Again, not saying that'll happen, but if it did happen, your gold holdings might actually be beneficial, right? You might actually see some good returns. And then the other side of that might be, let's say, the tariffs.
Yeah,
right?
That's something to touch on.
Absolutely, because we have commodities getting more expensive. Everything's getting more expensive. Not all of the gold we have here in the U.S. comes from the U.S. Comes from other places. So if you're seeing gold from other countries coming in with a heavy tariff, then what? What does that
More
mean
pricey.
for us? Yeah,
More
you're going to have
premium gold.
Absolutely. Nobody likes high premium gold.
Nobody's going to like the high premium gold. That's shit. So, you're going to see, you'd almost have to think you're going to see less and less of it.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the scenario.
Yep. So we got, the potential for trade wars, tariffs, increased national debt, BRICS. We've talked about it before on the show. BRICS is a major threat to the U.S., to the dollar, and potentially to how we function with our money. And if they bring in a gold-backed currency or some kind of commodity-based currency, you best believe gold is going to go up in value.
And you don't want to be out of reach.
Yeah.
Which is great. Like we talked about, I think it was last week. That's why it's nice to have a variety of it. And that's why there's a variety of it, because it's for everybody to own. There's half grams all the way up to 10-ounce bars, kilo bars, 100-ounce bars, as high as you want to go. There's gold for everybody. And, it's just kind of like the crypto. It's a lot of stuff that I hear now and see now is you just buy something, buy any of it, because once it blows, it's all going to blow. And yeah, maybe, but
is that hyperbole, or is there,
right?
You never know. Because hindsight is 2020 and none of us can see what's going to happen over the next 4 years. But I think
if I could, I wouldn't tell you.
That's true too. You tell me, but you
Well,
won't tell
yeah, I tell you, I'd
I
make
would
one of
hope.
those. I'd make one of those Back to the Future, sports almanacs.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. So you were mentioning Musk a minute ago
Yeah.
and how he's
Yep.
got the EVs and all that. And I know
Yep.
he's into, you said SpaceX. He's
Yep.
also into solar
Solar.
and all of that stuff. So that actually touches on the other metal that we deal with a lot, which
Actually a
is
couple, but not one that we deal with a lot, but one that not many people deal with, and probably for a good reason.
Go ahead.
Copper. I mean,
Yeah.
all that stuff that he's dealing with takes silver and copper. It's just copper's such a tough one that you need storage lockers to have any type of wealth, in
Yeah.
copper. There's so many other ways to get involved in copper. But you should expect to see that go up as well, because there's going to be a demand for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so to think about that with all of the technology fingers, the pies that he's got his fingers in, right?
Mhm.
All across tech. Him, and now you got I think Zuckerberg's on board too. So both sides, they're going to deal with any kind of tech investment. Um, and when you have that kind of demand for a consumable metal like silver, you're going to expect to see it go up. Over the last year, even we saw gold have a huge rally. Silver's rally was paling in comparison to that, and that's usually the case. That silver comes later. Gold makes its move, and then silver comes in and sweeps. Right. So I think we're lined up for this year. We might actually see silver do some big things, and it might in part be due to Elon Musk and his ties to the White House now.
I
It's possible.
agree.
It's
well,
possible.
yeah, and that's, I mean, hypothetically, yeah. I mean, and I agree with it. It's something that's very, very possible to happen, and not that far of a reach, really.
Yep. So we're kind of in a little bit of a mini dip, and the question I think is, would it be a good buying opportunity at this point?
See, and that's part of what I don't buy into, I guess, is I'm a firm believer in, and this, of
dollar cost.
Well, not even so much dollar cost averaging, but have yourself a budget. And okay, so if a guy bought his budget's worth of silver and gold at the beginning of the month, and now he's got to rebuild that budget so that he can buy at the beginning of next month, do you want to not pay a bill because you saw silver drop 50 cents and go rush out and buy some more, and then kind of screw yourself in the long run, and then have to end up selling it for less than you bought it for? So it's just, it's not that I don't think it's a bad thing to do that, because I don't. It's just, that's not the type of quote unquote stacker that I am. I have set amounts of money that I like to spend. I have set amounts of time that I like to do it. I most generally try and find it somewhere with the best price, but when it's time for me to buy, that's when I buy. I don't hold back. And most generally it's a weekend, because the market's held there.
Yep. And I think we'd be, since we're talking on the subject of Donald Trump and gold and silver, I think it's worth mentioning that Trump themed coins.
Yeah.
I mean, damn, those things go like hotcakes. Like, you can't keep them on the shelf.
You can't. And there's so many BS ones out there that
there's some that are awful.
Just terrible. Just
terrible.
Just puke together garbage. Really.
What's the best one you've seen so far?
Dude, I haven't seen it yet. Like, I haven't
I've
seen it in my hand yet.
I've had a good one in I auctioned it off years ago when I was doing the auctions. I guess it would have been like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Just it almost looked like a Roman coin. It was a big, fat, chunky.
Yeah.
It was either 1 or 2 ounce. I almost think it was a 2 ounce.
Emperor Trump.
Yes. Yeah, that one. That was, and I'm not a fan of these politically charged or themed coins at all, but that one was done. It was very well executed. Very well done. And I don't even remember who made it, but that was a nice one.
So I mean, I have to give credit where credit is due, and if people don't know the company, you should get to know them. And maybe think about picking up a piece for yourself. But Spectres, you see most of their stuff on Instagram. Yeah. You can go to their website. That vest that they put together for the when he was shot at, or actually shot, that piece is, regardless if you like the guy or you don't like the guy, it doesn't matter to me. But that piece is well done, like very well done. And what he or they have coming out with in the next couple months, I don't know if people have. I've posted a reel and I've posted YouTube shorts and TikToks, and that's another thing. TikToks are getting ready to either shut down or somebody's got to buy it to keep it open or something like that. But
maybe Mr. Beast or somebody. Do you have a picture of what you're talking about?
I can bring up my YouTube channel, and I think the reel is like 20 seconds or something.
Do it, man. And that is the technology. Let me just say, Spectres, damn. Like the technology behind.
I gotta bring it. No doubt. You still there, right?
Yeah.
All right. I gotta bring up YouTube. And I'll share it when I get back. Dude, it's insane what they're doing.
I don't even know how they do it. You're about to show, I think, the 1 point some odd kilo. I mean, how do you even do that? How do you form that?
I can't. Let me think here. Hold on. Let's see. All right. I thought my computer was playing volume, but it's not. That's just it. It's one of those things, right? All right. Bring that up full screen if you don't mind.
Yep.
So it's a short, so I don't think it's going to come up full screen. Let me see if I can right here. That's about as big as I'm going to be able to get it.
That's good.
All right. Well, hopefully it plays the volume. If not, you're going to get the gist of it. So it's a snapback. It's a Make America Great Again hat. It's the hat you see him wear, Musk wear, everybody walking the streets wearing. And here we go. You are in for a treat with this one. Celebrate Donald Trump's historic legacy with the Make America Great Again hat sculpture, crafted from 1.178 kilograms of pure 999 silver and limited to just 47 pieces. Get yours today at www.spectres.io and use code Pauly20 at checkout. It popped up. He brought that to my attention. Folks, you are in for a treat with this one. Celebrate Donald Trump's historic legacy. Let me stop that.
All right. There we go.
Bring us bigger right here. We go. So yeah, that piece is 1.178 kilos of pure silver. And the thing is, it's proof. It's shiny. It's something I want to have my hands on.
Is that going to come in a capsule? Like, what the hell would that even look like?
From what I see, there's really not much. There's going to be some type of display box, from what I understand. Probably like, you ever see those mini football helmets?
Yes.
It's probably something like that.
So I've got to say, regardless of if you are a Trump supporter or not, I know we got viewers on both sides.
Yeah.
That piece, the amount of craftsmanship and technology that goes into developing a piece like that, it's not easy. It's not easy.
47 worldwide. I think they run for about $6,500 to $7,000.
I could see it going higher than that. Give it a couple months.
I could definitely see it going a lot higher than that. You know what would be something to see is Donald Trump sitting at the Oval Office, and then just off to the corner of the desk, you see one of those damn things sitting on his desk.
That'd be cool.
That would be nuts.
But you'd have to dip it in gold.
Well, his would probably have to become in gold. Yeah,
it would be pure. It'd be one of one, maybe.
So, like I said, as far as Trump-based stuff, I got to give it to them. I've seen a lot of pictures of other stuff. I guess I'm not saying it because I review the products. I'm saying it because that is a well-crafted piece.
For sure. And I'm looking everywhere for this pressed Emperor Trump round. I know you know which one I'm talking about. I can't find it, dude.
I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know who made it.
I can see it in my head. It was cool. It was cool. But in any case,
on your point, yes, his stuff is doing very, very well. And for a while there, even like after he was shot, that's when people started pumping all that stuff out.
Yeah.
But even now, I mean, there's
got
just
cheesy.
Yeah, it did. But now you see a lot of inauguration stuff coming out. Stuff that has January 20th, 2025, 47th president of the United States. And
they're still selling out like crazy.
Which makes sense. And I tell you, and I tell who listener, I tell anybody, it's better than going in and buying a gas station Trump coin that you see there sitting at the counter, because that's just a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
Where at least you have a piece of silver, something that you can be proud of, I guess, if that's a good word to use. I guess I would say proud of. But around here, I see them. There's a gas station I stop into. I call it the Trumporium, because you walk in and it's just everything Trump. The store went full blown Trump, and right there at the checkout counter is like a tray of magnets and buttons and these little
probably challenge coins or something.
Yeah, challenge coins. Yep.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, they look nice, but you're gonna buy that thing. You're gonna throw it in your car. It's not something you're gonna display in your house. It's something you might lay down at the bar one time just to piss off
show
the
it
guy
off
next to you. So that's about that. Where a piece of fine silver art you could display and be proud of.
Yeah. So that hat, as I understand it, is not quite big enough for an adult human head, but if you happen to have a baby with a really strong neck, it might work. So,
dude, I know where there's a couple babies, grandbabies.
Yeah, man, you guys are cracking them out, man.
Dude,
ever growing family. That's awesome.
Yeah, it keeps me great.
So for the viewers, I guess if I were to give you anything to watch the Federal Reserve, watch for global instability.
Hey, we got a good one coming out about the U.S. Mint too, coming in the next week or two.
Oh, heck yeah. That's a good one. I don't want to give it away because
another
creator. Well, if another creator's watching this, don't copy our stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna be good.
You. We're gonna copy you though.
That's right. We'll copy you all day.
There's actually a couple things that I did see that I wanted to look into otherwise, that were actually really interesting.
Okay. Sounds good.
And I sent out a message to Miss Wastweet today, and that last Egyptian round has been made. It is for sale. I think we should get our hands on one each and give her an invite and talk about that last piece. And
this is Ra, right? If I'm not mistaken.
What's that?
Ra, the god.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yep. Very nice looking piece. It is. Did you do you have the whole series, or do you just have a couple of them?
I have most of them. I think I'm missing like the last one or two.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But I have the early ones. The early ones those are my favorites, man. The Cleopatra, the Sobek, and Anubis. Those are my three faves.
Yep. And probably like anybody else, everybody else as well. So we have that coming up, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's about it. Just kind of go with it, man.
That's right. All right, man. Well, stay safe. Stay warm.
Stay safe. Watch your spot chart.
That's right.
All right, everybody. Check you next week.
Peace.
On the Crucible Podcast.